Night of Champions 2025 is finally here, with a stacked card featuring the King and Queen of the Ring finals, as well as a WWE title showdown between Cena and CM Punk. The show has potential to be one of the standout shows of the calendar year. With 6 matches confirmed for the show, join us now as we look at all the winners and losers of Night of Champions 2025. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. Now, the first match on the card is Jacob Fatu vs Solo Sikoa for the WWE US title. Now, Jacob Fatu vs Solo Sikoa is a huge match that WWE has been teasing all year. Following Fatu officially turning on Sikoa at Money in the Bank, the two are now set for a US title showdown at Night of Champions, and on paper this should be able to deliver a compelling matchup that is filled with emotion. Now, the obvious route for WWE to go down is to debut new WWE star Hikuleo. Hikuleo is destined to debut on the main roster in the foreseeable future, and even recently competed in a number of dark matches. Hikuleo was rumored to be debuting on the SmackDown following Money in the Bank, but WWE decided to put the debut on hold. Night of Champions is the perfect place to debut Hikuleo, as him helping Sikoa win the US title is the most logical booking move for the match. It's almost a certainty that this isn't a one-time only match, and this may influence WWE to hold off on a title change. However, Hikuleo debuting in his first match would be a smart way to build obstacles in front of a seemingly invincible Samoan werewolf. Our prediction: Solo Sikoa wins the US Championship. Next up is Rhea Ripley vs Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight. Dominic Mysterio vs AJ Styles was initially said to be on the Night of Champions card. However, due to an apparent injury to Dominic Mysterio, the match is officially off. The Rhea Ripley vs Raquel Rodriguez match has definitely come out of nowhere, and it's been theorized that the match is on the card to make up for the absence of the Intercontinental title showdown. The street fight stipulation will certainly help the match, yet it's a foregone conclusion that Ripley picks up the W as we head towards Evolution. Ripley is expected to be featured in a big-time match at the upcoming PLE, and it's been rumored that Ripley's opponent will be revealed after she defeats Rodriguez at Night of Champions. In terms of the match itself, Rodriguez has a huge opportunity to break away from her established role of a bodyguard, and if she impresses in the match, then this could influence WWE to use her in a more meaningful way on television. The prior matches between Ripley and Rodriguez have been strong, with their matches in NXT being the highlights. So if the two bring that same type of energy for the match, then the street fight could be a sleeper hit on the show. But our prediction: Rhea Ripley defeats Raquel Rodriguez. Next up is Sami Zayn vs Karrion Kross. Now, for the first time since 2022, Karrion Kross has a singles match on a WWE Premium Live event. Kross has turned into a fan favorite since WrestleMania 41, and it's about time that WWE committed to giving him a push up the card. Now, this is being labeled by many as Kross's last chance to succeed in WWE. WWE have given him a number of opportunities to get over with feuds against the likes of Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles, and now that Kross is finally over, his match quality and in-ring work has to hit the mark. Due to WWE having a preference for Zayn in that upper mid-card role, a role in which he could easily main event Raw each week, it's probable that Zayn walks out with the win. There has been some fantasy booking on social media focused on WWE delivering a double turn, as their ongoing story on TV relates to Kross trying to get Zayn to snap. This could be an interesting way to go, but this would depend on how the Saudi crowd are reacting to both men in the match itself. Hopefully the match is given enough time to get out of that second gear, and hopefully the match is good enough to convince WWE that Kross is a name that needs to be in a meaningful role on Raw each and every week. But our prediction: Sami Zayn defeats Karrion Kross. Next up is the Queen of the Ring finals as Asuka takes on Jade Cargill. The Queen of the Ring will be determined in a match between Asuka and Jade Cargill. The match will mark a first-time ever encounter, and the match could honestly go either way. In terms of Asuka, WWE have been keen on giving the veteran a strong presentation since her return earlier this month, and WWE have been actively teasing her challenging Io Sky for the Women's World title. If Asuka wins, she will officially become the most decorated women's wrestler in WWE history. Asuka would have won virtually everything there is to win in the company, including the main roster and NXT women's titles, the Royal Rumble, the Money in the Bank, and of course, the Queen of the Ring. When it comes to Jade Cargill, WWE may look to cement Cargill as a future star with the win, but this would mean that Cargill becomes #1 contender at SummerSlam. Cargill vs Tiffany Stratton over on the SmackDown brand would make for an odd dynamic, with both women having zero established history and the match being an unusual babyface versus babyface title match. There's also the Naomi factor here, as Naomi and Cargill are still in the midst of a heated feud, and it's a possibility that Naomi interferes in the match and costs Cargill her chance at becoming the annual Queen of the Ring winner. But the most likely option is that WWE goes with an Asuka victory. This would allow them to book Asuka versus Io Sky at SummerSlam, and with their continuity both inside and outside of the WWE, this could make for one of the strongest stories for SummerSlam this year.
It could be.
Our prediction, Asuka wins the Queen of the Ring tournament. Next up is the King of the Ring finals as Cody Rhodes takes on Randy Orton. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton has been a certified dream match ever since Rhodes returned to WWE, and it's finally happening. Now, there is some disappointment that the match is taking place in this format, as the match has zero build, and this was once a match that fans believed could easily main event WrestleMania. It's possible that the match acts as a match won in the series, however, with the winner moving on to SummerSlam, it's unlikely that this is what WWE have planned. This is perhaps the most predictable match on the card, and it's inevitable that Rhodes storms into SummerSlam as a 2025 King of the Ring winner. Rhodes is destined for a rematch with Cena in some capacity at SummerSlam, and it's likely that Rhodes walks out of SummerSlam once again as a top star in all of WWE.
What if Randy
Orton
wins?
being in the finals is an unusual call from WWE. Orton is actively pushing for another match at SummerSlam with Cena, this despite WWE marketing their Backlash match just last month as a final encounter. This definitely hinders that initial marketing tagline, and it would have been in WWE's best interest if Orton addressed the fact that the match was supposed to act as a final matchup. It's unknown what Orton's creative plans are for SummerSlam, but it's been rumored that Orton will be facing SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis, but there has been little to no movement when it comes to that angle in recent weeks. The finish will no doubt see Rhodes win cleanly, and the closing shot of the match will either see Rhodes and his former mentor embrace, or WWE could tease some tension between the two supposed friends. The latter is encouraged, especially if WWE wants to revisit the storyline between the two down the line. Whatever WWE have planned, the match has all the makings for an absolute classic, and it's just a shame that the story isn't present for the match, as that could act as the only possible hindrance to the match failing to connect with the audience. Still, the history is there, but our prediction, Cody Rhodes wins the King of the Ring tournament. And finally, it's time for the main event as WWE Champion John Cena takes on CM Punk. John Cena vs CM Punk is arguably one of the biggest dream matches left in WWE, and whilst it may come as a disappointment that the match is taking place at a B-level show such as Night of Champions, there's hope that WWE will run the match back at SummerSlam. Cena and Punk historically bring the best out of each other, and in 2025, this is still the case. Their brief few minutes of action at the 2025 Elimination Chamber saw Cena turn back the clock, and their segments over the past few weeks have received universal praise. The main event match is a strong contender to be Cena's best match in years, and if WWE let both men cook, we could be looking at a match of the year contender from both men. In relation to the winner, it's likely that Cena retains. It's unlikely that Cena drops the title before SummerSlam, and if Cena does indeed retain, then Punk will likely be protected in the finish. Cena could potentially cheat to win the match, or the finish could see interference from Seth Rollins, which in turn would further the rivalry between the two. There have been rumors on social media that Rollins could potentially cash in during the main event. Rollins is currently advertised for the show, yet Rollins cashing in doesn't seem likely at this stage. WWE are likely setting Rollins to have a successful cash-in, so that will play a major factor in when and how Rollins cashes in. The likely finish is going to see Cena win by hook or by crook, and the show closing out with Cena being confronted by the 2025 King of the Ring winner Cody Rhodes is definitely going to be the plan. A lot of fans are pushing the idea of WWE delivering a triple threat between Cena, Rhodes and Punk at SummerSlam, and if WWE protects Punk in the finish, then this would be an easy match to book over the coming weeks. A triple threat for SummerSlam is a sensible move, as a lack of interest in a sequel to Cena vs Rhodes from WrestleMania is palpable online, and adding Punk adds a whole new elevated dynamic to the matchup. But our final prediction, John Cena retains the WWE Championship as Night of Champions closes out. But there you have it, folks, all the winners and losers of Night of Champions. Comment down below.
I wonder what they're going to do. I think SummerSlam is 2 nights, right? They got to do something. Anyways, thank y'all for watching. We out of here.